You already know the vibes. It's NAGA, coffee in the black and mild. You know, sometimes you get like these urges and you need to follow them, especially if you had nothing to do with the thought, right? You just need to follow them. And along with having the potential to notice signs and symbols a lot faster, like you just pick up on little things real quick, maybe an eye glance, somebody speaking, you know what I mean? Just little things you may pick up on it. These subsequent values couldn't happen unless you was in a particular place at a particular time. Sometimes it's not always the gauge of gaining. It's just you being in the right place at the right time to connect the frequencies. We're conduits, right? So those frequencies can connect through you and ultimately land where they're supposed to land eventually throughout the day. If you ever looked above cities and states and countries at an aerial rate, everything looks like a computer chip or a computer board, like those small green computer chips you take out of something. It could be out of a toy, out of a computer, out of a radio, whatever. It got this chip in there and it got all these little nodules on it. Majority of the time, that's what a city look like. That's what a town look like. You know what I'm saying? It's all about conductivity, and we are the electricity that runs through a town. So it's imperative to understand what frequencies to serve and what frequencies to stay away from. We are the charge that makes things happen. Whether or not you get opportunity to see yourself as such, you are the charge. So it's not about what you say majority of the time. It's about sometimes you just being in the right place at the right time. And I definitely had that urge today. And because I pick up on a lot of different frequencies and I notice everything, I got an opportunity to see why I was being pushed. Like I just had this urge to just move. You know what I'm saying? And it was nothing particularly that happened, but the conductivity that I saw within moving, the things that might have noticed me now more frequently within moving, the familiar faces. Sometimes you see a face that looks and it's like, oh, I remember seeing you this day. And their face tells that without saying these words. So you get a chance to see these things. More than that, you get a chance to speak to people you might not have never known before. And that starts some type of a connection later down the line. I remember you that day you was walking and shit, right? Like, yeah, you was out there. Things like that play a role. This is familiarity. And I noticed every little notice today. Just a natural notice. I even noticed other things that was out of place. And I was like, deeper than that, at some point in my walk, oh yeah, you see I still got this big ass Coca-Cola cup for coffee, right? Because they still ain't got no cups at this damn store. I don't know what's wrong with these people. They can't get an order right for nothing. So they like, you can put as much coffee as you want in there. I'm like, but it ain't gonna stay hot. It ain't got no lid. It don't matter. Yeah, I got the coffee. You already know the vibes. But it was just one particular part of my walk where I just felt like I noticed certain things. Like I remember certain events that took place in my life through a certain amount of time, right? So I remember a day that had something to do with something I saw. And I was like, I remember that day I was doing this, or this particular item was a part of that day. And because I seen the item, I understood that I was in a different mentality, time stream and all. And I was like, that's crazy because that was before I left the childhood. So it was that deep. It was like, wow, I saw that. And I literally like jumped over whatever that energy was that solidified that connection to my character. And I was in a childlike energy. And then I thought about all the things that I've done as an adult when I was in a childlike energy. And I was like, it was trying to push me back into that frequency I see. And my younger self was like, "That's right, yo. You was picking up on it." My younger self, because I always be building with my younger self. He's always with me. So he kind of let me remember that that was happening, a particular thing that had to go with a particular time of day. And I was walking around this thing they had set up. They was working on the light poles and stuff. I was walking around it, and I just felt like I was 11. I felt like I was a kid again, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, yo, why you walking like that? Like I was, you walk with the big steps, like you stepping out far, you leaning forward and you just moving like a kid be moving. Like, I'm like, yo, why the fuck am I stepping so damn big? Like big stepping right now. It was just funny. So I started laughing at myself. Like I was in this whole particular type of energy, right? And I'm like, wow, look at that. And then just because I noticed the thing from a particular time that I wasn't doing at this present moment, it was showing me how many things that I let go of naturally. Like it's nothing that's literally holding me from going back into that innocent energy. And moreover than me having to go back into it, I was cultivating off of that energy. And that was deep for me. So you think about these things when you're going through life and try to pay attention to your life itself as we go into this eclipse tomorrow. And think about the lighthearted energy, right, that you have in being dynamic and not having a care in the world, just being happy with who you are as the individual you are. And remember that inner scent, that innocence, that divine sent in to give you life first and foremost. Pay homage to the divine for doing that for you. I ain't trying to hold you. I'm just trying to show you something. You already know the vibes. NAGA.